What's going on, traders? Now, we already know that the downtrend is series of lower highs and lower lows, and uptrend is series of higher highs and higher lows. And this is why we try to box and we try to contain the trend, in this particular instance, the uptrend with the trend lines, because we want to find the support and resistance lines, because this is what trend lines are, just a slanted support and resistance lines. And we would try to find the proper trend lines, because there is a rules in price action, the trend line rule, that after break of a trend line, there's going to be a retest of a new extreme. And after that, market will most likely go into correction or straight up reverse. Now, today I want to talk about what to do when the market keeps going higher and higher in this uptrend particular instance, even though we already have a break and a new high, because we just don't want to reverse and start counter trading right off the bat. We need to successfully monitor price action that is giving us hints that the market is going to reverse or it may continue working up higher. So today started with the break and a new high, a little bit of trend line trading range like vibe. We pushed through the EMA, break, and a 2 legs to a new low. There was a support established early on in the morning, but this is still pre-market open session. Prices pushed through the EMA and we started working up higher, but this is a very steep trend. And this is very hard for a lot of traders to trade. So I would advise a lot of novice traders to skip taking any trades in a strong trend like this. This is very steep and you just get a bunch of first entries. This is very tight. You're not going to get the textbook second entry long at the key entry point here. You're just going to get a bunch of first entries. So you just want to skip this and stay safe, because this is really hard to trade. And you have a break and a 2 legs to a new high. So from this point on, we are expecting correction or reversal. And you guys can see we have a first entry long, second entry long. And I want to talk about this trade because trader went long here and he got actually lucky here, because we already have a break and a new high. So I told him I would be a little bit hesitant to go long this quickly, but you know, you can definitely make a case for going long here. But he went long using this inside bar, and there's a lot of traders on YouTube who are against inside bars. But here he waited for trigger above this bar, and then he put a limit order further back in, and he got exactly enough points for scalp. And had he waited for this bar, you know, he would have had a loser. And I told him this is exactly why I like inside bars and I'm a fan of inside bars, because they allow us to enter much safely and to enter further back, and we are also risking much less money. So inside bars are great, because in this instance you can enter way too early with just a break above this bar, and you don't have to wait for break above this bar. So I mean, inside bars are a little bit, you know, sort of like a cheat code, I would say. But nevertheless, we have a break and a new high, and you can see EMA is holding prices, and we have a bearish bar reversing. We have this gigantic bearish bar reversing, but we cannot go short yet. Look how tempting this is. We are at the very highs of the move. And when you're looking at the right side of the chart, it looks like this. And this is looking very tempting, like we may reverse. But we are still closing above the EMA. EMA is putting, you know, resistance here. It acts as a support. So you don't want to go short way too quickly. We need to wait for a reversal pattern. Reversal pattern is pushed through the EMA and then 2 failed attempts in the previous direction. And this is not it. You know, we actually made a second bar, and the very close of the bar, everybody started buying, and it resulted in this bullish reversal bar. Everybody started buying at the very close of the bar. So the net negative of this is net of this is, you know, nothing really happened. It is zero. We close at the, you know, exact same place as previous bar. You know, we opened this bar. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. And we have a new low right here, and you guys can see how price is pushed above the EMA, and we have a first entry short, a nice lower high of this high, nice bullish reversal bar. But this is still way too early to go long yet. We may still get some sort of trap because we already have a new high. So this is just a first entry short, and it's not high probability setup. And exactly this happened. We have a first entry short, second entry short. Once again, look how fantastic this bar looks. Such a nice bearish reversal bar. And if you're looking on the right side of the chart like this, once again, it's looking like the market is going to reverse any moment. And we actually have a first entry short, second entry short. It failed. We closed above the EMA. Look how EMA is holding prices here. Second entry short failure. And now, you know, this is enough information for us to tell that the market is not going to reverse lower. We have a new high yet. This was just a temporary correction, and traders are still willing to go long here, and they are still buying the market. So we need to buy with them, because market, otherwise we would have been trading below EMA, and it's not happening. We are trending above the EMA. So failed second entry short, high probability setup right here. And also take a note of this, that the reversal patterns, reversal bars are looking very tempting, but the trend pullback with the trend are looking, not that great. They're not that easy to enter. And this is by design. This is what keeps happening. Trends keep making pullbacks that are not ideal to take, and keeps making perfect reversals. So don't get trapped into these beautiful reversal bars, just because they look so tempting. And this is exactly the way it's designed. But you guys can see we definitely made one new leg higher, and you have to draw the short-term trend line. Whoops. You have to draw the short-term trend lines to keep you on the right side of the chart. So we are working lower, and then once again we pushed below EMA. So this is the first time we're below EMA since like a 30 minutes ago, and we instantly snap back higher. We have a break and a new low, and from this point on you can find this support here. This support is here holding prices nicely. You can actually find it very easily right here, and we confirmed it. So we have a trend working lower, we have a break and a new low. And I was looking at some sort of trend line, something like this, but this just didn't feel right. You guys can see how flat this looks, and by the time you get to this lower trend line, you're probably reversing. You're no longer in an uptrend. You guys can see it really doesn't fit that well. So I kind of forgot about this trend line, and I was just playing the short-term trend lines and this support right here. So support is holding, break and a new low, but this is still not a great bar to enter. Next big bar, bullish. There's a lot of people still willing to buy. Third bar, gigantic bullish bar. So you guys can see, even though we have a break, new high here, each time we're closing below EMA is getting rejected big time. Once again, below EMA, rejected, two gigantic bullish bars. So there is enough information for you guys that you can make good prediction that the market is going to go higher. Unfortunately, there is no setup for us to go long, because we didn't trigger one tick below this bar or this bar. This would have been a great first entry short, second entry short, but it didn't happen. So we just have to let this go without you. And you guys are now in a little bit of a trading range, and you break the trading range and you try to pull back, because most breakouts will fail. We have a new high right here, pull back, first entry long, pull back, second entry long. The second entry long triggered above this really bearish bar, and this is not enterable because we're in an uptrend now and we are looking for only bullish bar. So even though it triggered above this bearish bar, we cannot enter here. Then we have this beautiful bullish bar, and I wasn't still willing to go long here yet, because you're quite some bit away from EMA, and I was expecting for prices to go test this or possibly go straight into trading range. But the next bar, look what happened next bar. We're working lower, we're very close to EMA, and at the very close of the bar, just the same bar like here, you guys can see that the bar is identical. This bar, at the very close of the bar, everybody started buying, just like here. At the very close of the bar, everybody started buying. So the importance of signal bar is real, and the great signal bars are good setups. So now I like taking a trade. So even though I wasn't a fan of going long here, with this trap, because we trapped a few more shorts, and this is kind of a breakout pullback. You broke out and you pull back, retested the support almost, and because the EMA is holding at this point on, and two-legged pullback, and you're definitely making new high right here, and you just keep working up higher, so that at this point on, this is a clear uptrend, and every single attempt to short this market, should fail, and you really shouldn't be looking for this. You only should be focusing on reasons to go long. So once again, when looking for long setups here, draw the short-term trend lines, we're working lower, we have a break and a new low, but the signal bar is horrible. The half of this bar is a big bearish stim bar. At the very close, a lot of people started selling, and this is not ideal. But at this point on, this is where I found this trend line. You guys can see the trend line looks something like this, and I just cut this corner a little bit. This is just a little cut. I really didn't notice this when I was trading live quickly, just like I mentioned, but once we bounce here and with the support holding congruently, this is definitely a valid channel now, and we push through the EMA. Nice bullish reversal bar. You guys can see how we touch the trend line, instantly reverse above the EMA. You have to go long here. We are now clearly in an uptrend. You have a low right here, first entry long, first entry short, second entry short, but you're far away from EMA, far away from trend line, and you're going long at the very high of the day, and this is not smart to take. So even though this is a failed second entry short in an uptrend, which would be high probability setup, you're so far away from all these key entry points, and you're so close to these highs, high of the day in a matter of fact, you really cannot risk going long here. And you just can see a bunch of first entries, not really high probability setups. Then you have a new high right here, first entry long, second entry long, two-legged pullback, you have a break and a new low, bouncing off the trend line, good enough for scalp, high probability setup, nice bullish bar. And this trade would, close the books for the day. So just remember, the inside bars are great. I'm probably going to make a video about inside bars because they allow us. Let me find some good inside bar here. The inside bars are great. I'm definitely going to make a separate video about that. And just because we have a break and a new high, it may continue working up higher, just like this in this instance. But we are smart traders. We know that we don't want to pick tops just like that on the dime. And there's a lot of clues telling us that the shorts are failing, that the bulls are still active. And every time we get below EMA, it gets rejected big time, every single time. So this is a good sign that market is going to keep making new highs. So I'm going to wrap it up. Hopefully you guys learned something new today. And if you went long above this bar and you had a loser right here because they trapped here, you just have to brush it off. This will happen, and you could have easily re-entered right here, and then there are beautiful setups during the day. But there was many of those setups. The volatility slowed down a lot, so my target profit now is 8 ticks because early on market really looked slow, and the yesterday was quite slow as well. There are some quite slow days recently, so I'm probably gonna stick with 8 ticks now. But even though I really like the 10 ticks, so when I'm entering with 10 ticks, I'm entering a little bit further back with the limit order. But I don't like this a little bit slow volatility, but that's normal.